Welcome back. Today we are diving into the world of change data capture and learning how to set up Kafka Debezium SQL Server connector in Windows using Docker. Let's get started. Change data capture or CDC is a technology that monitors and change captures the changes in the databases like inserts, updates and deletes in real time. It's especially useful for building event driven architectures and keeps systems in sync. The CDC connectors enables real-time streaming of database changes into the systems like Apache Kafka. This eliminates the need for batch jobs and improves the system efficiency and ensures low latency data synchronization. How it works. The connector listens to the changes in the source databases using CDC, and these changes are then published to the events, to the Kafka topics as an events, and then which no, downstream can consume in the real time. And let's see how to configure this in our local machine. So to configure this, actually, these are the prerequisites. We need to have a Docker and Docker Compose and SQL Server and GitHub. I have created a Git repository and having this Docker Compose file which has all the services configured. Please clone this repo. I share this link in the description. Open the Debezium CDC connector setup folder and the Docker Compose file. In this Docker Compose file contains mainly four services: Zookeeper, Kafka, and Kafka Connect, and then Kafka UI. Zookeeper and Kafka is for setting up the Kafka, and Kafka Connect. This will set up the Kafka Connect framework. Debezium's connectors, Kafka framework, Kafka Connect framework, and Kafka UI it's a web application where we can see the Kafka topics and connectors and other things. It's very awesome. Okay. Once you have this, and just let's start. Just start the Docker Compose. Yes, it's started. Okay, let's see Kafka UI. How Kafka UI? It started. Yeah, it will take a while for setup. Kafka has to first, it has some dependencies. Kafka has to set up first, and then Kafka connectors, and then Kafka UI. It will depends on Kafka UI depends on Kafka and Kafka Connect. It's like it started. Yes. So this is there's a one broker available. There's a Kafka broker and topics. So now we have a Kafka setup. We have a Kafka and Kafka UI running. Let's create a Kafka connector. Just before creating a Kafka connector, we need to enable CDC in our database. How to enable CDC? We have a script to do that. Just go to the README file. Here we provided the script. This will enable the CDC in the database level. And to enable the CDC for a specific table, we need to run this script. Actually, how it works is like we will monitor only specific. We may need not to monitor all the tables. So we'll enable CDC for only specific tables which we want to monitor. So for this, as for this demo, I'm setting up for employee table. So I already did it for my employee table. How can we check is like, we have this query to run, not to run and see whether the CDC is enabled or not. So it's for test CDC connected database. It's my CDC is enabled, and to see for which tables it's enabled, we can run this query: select star from CDC tables, change tables. So it's enabled for DBA employee. This is good enough for this session. Let's create. How can we create the CDC connector? To create, let's open a Postman. Yeah, we need to call this API, a connectors API, and by passing the configuration to create a CDC connector. This configuration contains the SQL Server. I mean, was the name of the connector, and the database credentials, like the database host name, port number, username, password, database, DB name, and all the details. And here we'll mention the tables to include, like on which tables we need to enable this CDC. I mean, we need to monitor the CDC tables. And for this configuration and configuration details, you can go through this link, which I'll share. I'll share in the summary section. So this is the documentation for this connector, CDC connector, which has all the details, actually all the configuration details and all. What are the configurations we can do, all those things. Please go through this document. For basic configuration, I already provided in this registered SQL Server JSON file. You can use it. Just modify your database details. Okay, let's create. Yes, it's created. Okay. See the topic. I mean, the topics has been created. DBO employee topic. And let's see. Let's update and see the changes are propagating or not. Let's run it in a live mode so we can see the live changes. Let's update. Let's see what's the data in that employee table. So we have two tables, and let's update the username. Demo user to demo user 02. Updated. Yeah, I don't see the data is not. I mean, we don't see the data in the topic. The reason is we need to check actually the SQL Server agent. Agent should be running. That we already mentioned here. Rechecks. The agent should be running actually. This is the problem. This is why we are not able to see the changes. Let's start. Okay. So now we can see the change. So what is the change? This is the before record, before change, demo.user, and after change, it's demo.user02. Now this is how we can see the data changes. So these messages, any systems can subscribe to these topics and see the changes and do the updates in their systems accordingly. Yeah, that's it. We have successfully set up and tested the Debezium SQL Server CDC connector in our Windows systems. If you really like this video, please share, subscribe, and like. Thank you for watching.